Here are a few simple things you can be doing right now to get longer life out of your car battery. Firstly, you can check the voltage. The battery voltage actually plays a major part in determining the overall length of service life you'll get out of it. For example, a battery which is being kept at near full charge at all times is going to last dramatically longer than one which is being undercharged or allowed to sit in a partially charged state for long periods of time. So to check your voltage, all you need is a voltmeter. This is a very cheap one, which I bought for around $5 on an online marketplace. Touch it between the battery posts and you will get a readout in volts. Once you have your voltage readout, all you need to do is refer to this information here on the side of the screen. For a fully charged, healthy battery, it will read 12.6 volts or above. 12.7, 12.8, maybe even a little bit higher if you have driven the vehicle recently. If the battery measures 12.5 volts, we would recommend checking it again in a couple of days to make sure it hasn't dropped any further. But if your battery is even lower in the 12.1 to 12.4 volt range, we would recommend recharging it immediately with a battery charger like the Century CC1206. If your battery is measuring 12.0 volts or even less, it is considered to be fully flat, and it is vital that you recharge it immediately. Because lead acid batteries which are allowed to remain at low levels of charge like this for long periods of time are going to become permanently damaged the longer you leave them at this level. Most importantly, voltages as low as this might indicate that there is either a problem with the battery or a problem with the charging system in your vehicle. And we would strongly recommend visiting your local Century Batteries retailer to get a free battery test and figure out what's going on. Speaking of chargers, recharging your battery every 3 months is also an excellent way to extend the lifespan of your battery. Usually, if you drive your vehicle often, it'll be doing a pretty good job at keeping your battery fully charged. But even so, if you use a specialist battery charger like the CC1206 every 3 months, it'll go a long way to keeping this battery in even better condition. Because chargers like this actually have a 9-stage charging process which uses peak pulse conditioning and rejuvenation features to help bring this thing back to even better condition compared to when you started. Another easy thing you can do is make sure you keep your battery clean. It's a little known fact that if you allow the top of your battery to get dirty enough, get enough grime and moisture buildup, it can actually start discharging between the terminals across the top of the battery through the grime. So you need an extremely dirty battery for that to happen, but why not just avoid the risk in the first place by giving this thing a wipe periodically? And a very thin coating of high temp grease can also be applied to the terminals and connections to help reduce the chances of corrosion. And lastly, for show cars or vehicles which are driven rarely, we recommend using a battery charger again like the CC1206 to keep your battery fully charged. If you think of other battery powered devices like phones or gaming controllers, they still go flat slowly over time even when they're turned off or not being used. And it's the same story with a lead acid battery, except with these, once they fall below a certain voltage, like we discussed earlier, will start to receive permanent damage. So if you've got a show car or a car which is not driven very often, less than once a week, get a battery charger like the CC1206 because these things can be left connected to the battery and enter a maintenance mode to make sure the battery is topped up periodically to keep it fully charged. So by following these 4 simple tips, you can extend the service life of your battery and get the absolute maximum value out of it. For more information, visit the website centurybatteries.co.nz.